shared services?
The shared service is the fact that we all joined together to apply for this grant. So we all together are sharing in the service of getting that burn justice grant. So Passaic may get a car, Paterson may get 2 cars. We may need a truck. You know what I mean? It depends. We may need bulletproof vests. It depends on what we're going for. It's just a joint agreement. This burn grant is like a gimme. I'll be honest with you, it's not like a real difficult grant.
We're proposing to utilize it in what?
Police equipment, that's what goes into the grant. They'll have police equipment, we'll say police equipment, that's what it says on the thing, right? The grant is generic. We won't go after it until we accept those funds and then come back, car A, or we need, 6 fishing poles, whatever it was that you actually need at that time. But it's pretty much a gimme.
Okay.
That's why they do it with the 3 cities. Everybody does it all around, all the states. It's throughout the United States.
Okay.
Director.
Council President, 23 can also go on consent. This is
Director, sorry. When you apply for this grant, even though it's a joint grant, do you put the
Paragraph in. Clifton may put their paragraph in about hotspot policing. Depending on what it is, it's all of us combined. So it's not, it's more of a generic grant. The Byrne grant's been around since Eddie Byrne was killed in Queens. And that's why it's really something. It's almost like I hate to say it, but it's almost like a gift.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so Council President, 23 can go on consent as well, as this is a normal two-quarter contract for the shots fired. So that can go on consent.
Thank you.
24, 22 is consent, 23 is consent. 24, the resolution and award a contract to, actually, this is for the medical services for the Paterson Police Department, correct?
MedLogic. Yeah, this is for medical services, so we can conduct independent medical exams. People that are sick, or if we need to do retirements, or we have to do things like that, this will give us the opportunity
And
to do
this is not
independent
to exceed
medical exams.
15,000, right?
That's correct.
Council
Could we consent,
members,
please?
you can go 25 can go on consent. I'm sorry, 24. 25 is for the municipal emergency services for the purchase of body armor.
Is it state contract?
This is, Director, this is a state contract, right?
This is a-
Under the state contract,
Yes, state contract,
Consent?
and that's, the replacements, the new ones, whatever.
Okay, 26, for the purchase of computers and accessories for the police department.
Correct. That is for the equipment for 27, which is,
How much will be?
Live streaming on YouTube.
It's 35,000.
26
yeah,
is
it's gonna be, it's all computer equipment, and it's both,
Yeah, I'm live streaming on YouTube.
what do you call it, desktop and, police computers and lights and stuff like that for in the cars, and that goes with 27.
Okay.
We have been going around in a circle with vehicles, I don't want to say the name of the vehicles, but the vehicles that we currently use. We keep going to the dealer, and then the next thing you know, somebody else snatches them, and the next thing you know, somebody else gets them. So we were able to come up with 31 Dodge Durangos that are being built now, and we're jumping on it so that we can get patrol cars.
Director.
Yes.
One at a time, please. Anyone have a question?
No,
Yes.
Number 5. Who we at?
Councilman Velez?
Director, I see this, 1.1 million dollars in this.
Yes.
And this is only for the vehicle, or for the whole full package?
No, the 31 is for the...
I don't know, because the thing is, see how you told me to 27?
Yeah.
Because they say that this one will marry with the other one, so I know you're talking about vehicles,
Yes,
31 vehicles.
yes.
And I see that, and you just,
Yeah, it's just the vehicles, the 1.1.
so just the vehicles.
That's it, just your vehicles.
So this equipment goes to the vehicles.
Right, the computer that'll go to that.
So you have 14 computers, but with 31 vehicles.
Correct, because some will be detective cars,
Okay.
some will be nondescript cars, some will be narcotics cars.
When we expecting to have those vehicles here?
They're being built, now, so I would say 2 months. We're hoping for 2 months. I mean, we've been going around in circles. What we did do is we went with, the Chevy Tahoes out of our asset forfeiture fund because they were much more expensive. So the, 11 marked police vehicles, or 11 or 12 marked police vehicles that we already got 2 in. These are
It's gonna be in a row.
Yeah, these are for the
Are they
road.
gonna be on mark?
Some will be, the detective ones will be unmarked, narcotics obviously would be unmarked, street crimes would be unmarked. The 14 will be marked, and we have the 14 we bought with the capital that is coming in. We got 2 vehicles already, 2 more are coming, 2 more are coming. We already have that deal done and signed.
Hopefully we could reinstate the night patrol.
Yes,
Traffic.
we got it. We definitely are.
Council
I
President?
just got a quick question, that I share, Council President, Director. I know that you just mentioned, that was my question, that out of the 31, you're planning to have 14 patrol. Are they gonna
They're
be
voting,
marked?
they're taking a vote,
Yeah,
to move the
just-
election back.
My concern, and I'm very sure that all the
School
council
board.
concerned are, if the lack of police vehicles.
They're taking a
patrol
vote tonight to
is
do it.
massive. Just keep that in mind, only getting 31.
No,
we-
the city
we
council-
only getting
city council can move
14
the election.
patrol,
Too.
At the same
We're
time.
actually getting 28.
Yeah, the state law, either the
Because
school
we
board
have
or the city
14
council
are
can do it.
coming in, but because they're coming
That'd
in
be crazy,
2 at
that
a
means
time,
April,
we're going with 14 out
There'll be
here
another
as
election.
well. So it'll be 28,
That'll
we
change
want to
everything.
reinstate nighttime traffic, so it'll go marked units throughout.
Correct, I mean, I definitely prefer that
well,
those
people
unit
like
marked,
grassroots people.
but I understand when you say that some is specific.
Some are for the
Cannot be
community.
marked,
Change
yeah, just keep
everything.
that into consideration, because that's our way to see police presence
Yes.
in our community, police presence in our neighborhood. When they see a marked police unit, they know that we are in the area. and
this
we
might
have
be a
to
short
go.
stay.
Yes, sir. Understand, sir.
You see, he changed that picture to a road commander.
Councilman Jackson?
You can dig into it now, but that
I
part,
appreciate the opportunity
You
to
have
speak
to
moments
change.
since I didn't have a chance to
it's
ask
like bullseye.
discussion of the 2 questions. One, understanding the ordinance, but what is the policy behind enforcement? Because from my perspective, and I don't know what the policies or practices are, but there's certain things that are just never being enforced. Double parking on Market Street, right outside, you go out here at 3 o'clock hour, it's cars double parked on both sides as if it's regular public parking. On Ward Street, in front of the mall, it shouldn't even be a 2-lane. It should be 1 lane with parking, because people utilize those lanes for parking every single day, causing, potential hazards for the pedestrians is crossing. So,
Duly noted, Councilman. I want you to understand that we are going to, we have the class coming out in December. We'll get those people trained. We're looking to beef traffic back up. We're looking to put more police officers out in the street. We're looking to have these marked vehicles so that we can do the.
making those Patersons too. What's the status with making those Patterson residents? And as opposed to, I know that, I know that the mayor and other members of the administration, yourself, have advised certain people that, that list is dead, but after speaking to the director at civil service for certifications, that in fact, I didn't bring it, but I'll forward it to you, that is absolutely not the case. They're certified and they're eligible to remain certified for at least 90 days. So what's the status with those promotions?
Sure. So, and the administration has been supportive with us trying to fill our open vacancies as much as possible, and I know that this was a conversation, so the 2 open vacancies, I know of one, it might be 2, I won't, so, but the open vacancies were created after the new list for sergeant came out and was active. So So with that, there was a conversation with, and we had emails to this effect, we emailed civil service to see what we were allowed to do. And they were pretty clear about the fact, because this did happen once in our history, I want to say, about 12 years ago. And they were clear about it then, they were clear about it this time, that if a vacancy is created after the new list comes out, and you promote somebody from the old list, well then, they can force you, they don't let you make the promotion, because they don't necessarily know about it, but as soon as somebody from, and surely somebody would, from the new list will complain, as soon as that happens, they will turn around and make you demote that person. If that vacancy, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for that.
No, if that vacancy, that was just repeating, if that vacancy didn't exist, before the new list became active, then there's nothing that we can do until service.
But that's absolutely not the case.
Okay.
And you have what you're stating to me, that they send that to you, because obviously
Yes.
policies and, is that, you have it in writing?
An email? Yes. We have an email from civil service.
Well, not just an email, but according to the statute, the law, of what civil service operates, which guides civil service. Because after, I do have, there's multiple places within the civil service law that states, once that person is certified. So I understand what you're saying, and that is the case, as long as they're not certified. Now, further, these current three that were certified are minority people who are bona fide, long-term residents, still are residents of the city of Paterson, which I think makes a huge difference. So I'm very curious in how this thing should be handled. I'm concerned that, because it's become a common practice. It hasn't 14 years ago. As a matter of fact, a year and a half ago, it was 14 vacancies when Miguel Quendo and Marvin Sykes all retired. They all died in the list, and they were all certified, and they all could have been me. So this has been a common practice in the PD, and I think that when you're talking about culture, this is a part of what that culture is stemming from, because you have people who are being passed over when they're rightfully so, ready for promotion. So there's 3 spots, and I would like to be kept fully aware of the rest with how this decision plays out.
Council President.
They're, according to civil service, they're still currently certified.
They are, that's absolutely correct. So had those, and they are certified for a long period of time, so had those vacancies occurred, our understanding from civil service, and certainly we can go back and check and we can clarify if we have information. I'd love to see, we can always send the civil service and ask them to clarify for us. But had they, for our understanding from civil service, had they occurred prior to the new list coming in, out and being promulgated, then we would have taken over.
Council President.
Yes, please.
So to Councilman Johnson, because I know that I made various phone calls, and I spoke to the director, I also spoke to, Captain Campanella, who is the person. Yeah, I saw the email trails, I've spoken to quite a few people that obviously were ready, they were like, I believe number 2 and number 3, and unfortunately, when I did all my research, and then I addressed the BA as well about the situation, and Campanella told me there was only one position and only one officer was able to be promoted at the time of the vacancy. And then the list came out, and once the list came out, because there's potential, because it's my understanding, and I told the BA this, there are various people that are planning on retiring, that would open up those others. What I saw from the email from civil service, that they indicated, yeah, they were certified, but the list died, and there was no opening before. So, I have been, on top of that,
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Council President.
Would probably be the appointment office. Or promotion. We can get a copy of the email for you.
Please.
As a division in civil service, they don't handle promotions, they handle certifications. Correct. And I spoke to that person, correct. We ran forward on all of the pertinent, I'm a person that likes to read it for myself.
Councilwoman Khan.
Thank you.
I'll make sure Todd gets you a copy of what we asked.
my understanding, if I may, Detective Todd, Lieutenant, if the civil service is saying that they are certified, and that the next vacancy that comes open, that they can be put into that position, why would in the same email they'll say, no, they can't because it just expired? Why would they tell them, you certified you in the original list, but then there was no vacancy?
answer that.
And then why would they put all that in the same
Here's
email?
what happens. When we have one vacancy, we call for a certification. We get 3 names. 3 people get certified, the top 3, because of the 1 and 3 rule. So what they do is they send out 3 certifications. They send out to number 1, to number 2, to number 3. Then you make your promotion. If you have the 1 vacancy, we get our waiver, we make our promotion. Should another vacancy come up before that list expired, civil service, we would make it. However, the list then gets closed, and then the list expired, and then the vacancy comes on. Now you have a new list, so civil service is telling us we have to go by the new list, and that's the email that they have.
But let me ask one more question then. That means the people that were on that original list that were certified, are they on the second list?
No, and they could be on the second list, yes, but they wouldn't be number 2 or 3.
I think,
It would depend on what they scored.
Right,
It would depend on what they scored.
so in other words, you could have picked any one of the three.
Yes, you could. You could have picked
But
one
y'all
of
would
3.
be the top.
Yeah, you could have picked one of 3.
You could have picked one of the
We just have, we usually.
maybe you should have the discussion in the committee,
No, I'm just saying.
like the long discussion. If you need any clarification, you should bring it up in the committee meeting.
Council President, very quickly, with all due respect, 1, I'm not a part of that committee. 2, I have refrained from having private conversations in committee because you're told one thing. I want the director and the officer to be able to put these things out on the public platform so that when there's any misunderstanding, we're dealing with, first of all, this is common practice. Let's not any of us, disbelieve ourselves when we understand that this has been going on for quite some time. I'm very, very close with that previous class that went out in retirement, and we allowed all of those people 14 openings, and they all got on the list. So, further, I'll just rest it there. I don't want to go too far into that, but these discussions need to take place in the public platform, where the public who's being impacted by these issues have an opportunity to hear, as opposed to backward discussions.
Council President.
Councilman,
So I know we're done with this item, but Madam VA, for item number 6, I spoke to the director, so you don't have to get a response. I got it. Thank you.
thank you. Item 26 and 27 consent.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have file item 43 to 46. (43 to 46). Councilman.
Excuse me?
There's no way you can fire?
No, I thought somebody would be here, but I know we're feeding the nuns tonight. We're feeding the nuns over at,
We're feeding the nuns. You know, we do that every year. So the nuns are being fed over at
Item number 43, purchase of.
So hopefully you'll give me some dispensation on that.
All right.
Purchase of a vehicle.
43 is a contract.
I'll have somebody here at the meeting to make sure they answer any questions you have on those.
Director, but this is, we discussed this, so this is.
Yeah, these are the ones that were
Vehicles.
discussed.
43 can go on consent. All right, it's, New Jersey State contract, to purchase one 2022 Chevy 4-door commercial Tahoe for the fire department. Southern State contracts.
Council President. On 43, but the chair just went to get some detail on how this vehicle is going to be used for the fire department. If it's going to be a marked SUV for the fire department, it's going to be the purpose.
Says first priority emergency. Yeah, they're looking at it.
Yeah, it has the first priority emergency, so it's going to be probably a marked fire car unit, like a battalion chief car, that's what they use the Tahoes for.
Is
If you
everyone
consent,
okay to
if
move
you
forward with
consent,
consent? Alright, and
Regular, please. Director, are there any grant funds? Where's this money coming from to make these purchases?
I believe this is.
Council President,
Yes,
I can actually speak to that, that both of these are through supplemental transitional aid from last year, from 2022, sorry.
Transition, so we still haven't gotten a report on how that money has been spent. Has it been, grant and finance committee, have we gotten line item, expense reports and that money? Yes.
I don't know what that request was, but we have items that were actually in the appendix to the MOU that was agreed to by the committee, that was included at the last council meeting, had the listing of all the items in supplemental TA for 2022. So it's about $10 million worth of
So
items.
I've asked for the expense reports, not only there, multiple items, but my concern is, here we are, and I have not been a part of the discussions, I've been reading it more so than anything else. But we're facing a budget deficit, and we're going out to do new epoxy floors, spending money on vehicles, and we're talking about, cutting salaries and cutting positions. So I'm curious in how responsible we're being with spending, considering that we're coming up on a multi-million-dollar budget deficit. So I know that's a discussion for another time possibly, but for now, Council President, just put it on record, please.
Item 44,
So, I'm sorry, Council President, item 43.
you've got it correct. Item 44, consent.
Yeah, they're the automatic machines that go on your chest.
44 is consent, Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry, Council President, same question.
During COVID, our fire department had purchased, is this the same thing? but they
These
purchased-
are those machines.
Instead of
This
them
machine-
having to do mouth to mouth, they put
Yeah, it
this on
saves
there.
lives. It goes over your chest,
Right.
and then it goes around the back, and there's a board, and it, instead of you having to manually
Right.
do CPR, the machine actually measures it, does it.
The fire,
Wait a second, so are we purchasing 9 more?
Yeah.
How many, because I can't remember how many we purchased.
I don't know how many we have, but I would say that we have,
Oh, here it goes.
in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, chief, if you could, this is on the latest, how many we have, and they want to know on this one here.
That would bring our total to what, chief?
Hi, everybody, sorry.
Um,
So for 43, that vehicle is for the DPW. We're purchasing it for them through transitional aid. That's not for the fire department. All right, the 44 for the Striker and the Lucas, that's also for transitional aid. We have two Lucas devices that we got as a result of COVID funding. This is going to give us an additional 9, so we'll have 11. So every single ambulance will have one. Our spare ambulances that will cover football games and the like. So whenever we have those traumatic type, where like football, where bad things can happen, we'll have those on stock. They are life-saving, absolutely incredible devices.
Yeah.
If you know what they do, they actually do compressions on your chest, and they're amazing. So we have 2 that we deploy. We've used them hundreds of times since we've had them, and they're amazing.
Okay.
And 44 being consent, council members?
yeah.
44 consent, Madam Clerk. Item 45,
That's $10,000 for the sub-grant award for the offsetting of the OEM coordinator.
I'm sorry, Chief?
It's $10,000 from FEMA to offset the cost of the OEM coordinator.
OEM coordinator,
Yep.
meaning that goes towards their salary?
Yes.
Comes from a grant, right?
Yeah, it's a grant. It's a $10,000 grant. We get it every year. We do it every year.
I'm sorry, Council President, quick question.
As long as I can remember.
Chief, do we have to any match with this grant?
No match.
can it be consent, Councilman?
Okay, the consent.
Yes, 45%. Number 46.
46 is as a result of Ida, we had damage to the epoxy floor at fire headquarters. That's to go out to bid to perform the work so that we can get it redone, where they chop it up, they fix it, they put it down, and it's a 90-10. So after we award it, the FEMA will reimburse 90% of the cost.
So, and this is just to solicit, right?
This is just a solicited bid, not to award contract, or not to say, yes, we're going to go ahead and do it. So we can get ahead and see the cost.
Regular,
You said, you said FEMA, will reimburse 90% of the cost?
90% of the cost is
But
reimbursed.
isn't there a cap?
Nope, not with this.
There's no cap?
There's no cap. It's just like the other ball fields that we did on Pennington Park. That's 90%, and that was, I forget how many million that was, but that's going to cover 90%.
But we haven't got reimbursed yet, though. No.
Because the work is still
Not from, I'm talking about from FEMA.
for which part?
Okay.
I mean, it's not done yet.
Oh, it's not, okay. We haven't gotten paid yet from FEMA. You know what, that would be a good question for a VA. I know we had quite a few items that had to be, sent to FEMA to be reimbursed. I'm not quite sure how much money we have got back already to FEMA from items, Hurricane Ida, things that had happened. So can you kind of like give us a breakdown of what they did pay us back for, right?
Yeah, I can get that to you.
Yes, and that's what most of the things we're still spending the money on to then get reimbursed after the fact. But I think we did submit things like the use of our vehicles, where they provide something that we got the first payment on some of those items. So we can get specifics.
Council President.
Yes, Councilman Jackson.
Chief, how was the epoxy floor damaged?
So when the firehouse was flooded out, and it got in behind the walls, behind the 3-inch raised epoxy, and it's all starting to swell, it's starting to pick up. What happened was it came up through the drains as well, and now the cracks are running, because water on the underside of the concrete, and it's running right through, and you see spider cracks going through the whole thing. So we wanted to do the cost study, and then we'll get, once again, it's 90-10 match, and you all can allow us to do it or not allow us to do it. But that's,
Only epoxy is pretty durable, it would be actually something, used on battleships and things of that nature. There
absolutely.
was no warranty on the flooring from the original contract.
So because of the weather, there was not. It was from natural causes where you could actually see where the water pushed up and bubbled it up right through. We had some minimum damage.
Just include photographs of this between.
Sure.
The item gonna be regular? Thank you, Director. We'll take, community development, yes. Barbara, please. Regular, yes. Item number 70, Councilwoman Khan. Item number 70.
How you doing?
Director,
Number 7 is the balance of,
we can hear you.
it's CDBG funds and ESG funds, the balance of the account, balance of the funds for this year. 1920 and 2021.
This is for the year 2019 and
21.
2020.
2019, 21. I'm sorry, 2019, 2020, 2020, 21. Yes, 2021. Yes, the leftover one.
Can we, sorry, Council President.
Councilman Jackson.
Director, can we outline
Yes.
where those dollars were allocated and why they weren't expended?
So there was money left over from Bell Start from 2019, they left $839, $38.22.
I'm sorry, how much was that again, please?
$838.22.
$800.
Yes. In 2019, for the NJCDC after-school program, we left 17,505.60. And for the neighborhood cleanup, NJCDC neighborhood cleanup, they left 8,418.76, for a total of 26,762.54.
Are you looking at the resolution? Are you on page 2?
Page 2 is
Page,
down.
page 1, bottom of page 1. Just bottom of page 1.
So, question,
1 second, let us finish.
So number 2, page 2, 2020, we had left over from New City Kids, a music program. They didn't use any of the money, 35,000. Left over from the Girl Scout, they didn't use any of the money, it's 35,000. That's a total of 70,000. That's where it came from. What we're recommending to fund is the now theater production for Juneteenth for all of 2019 that was left over from the first page, which is 46,000.
26,000?
26,762.54.
You're looking to do what? On what?
Now theater production of Juneteenth. And the balance of their request will be coming from 2020, which will be an even $20,000. And then the balance of the 70,000, which we took 20 from it, it left 50,000. And we're asking to give that to the grandparents.
Council President?
Okay.
Council President?
Councilman
We also
Abinadez.
have money left over on this resolution for the COVID funds. There was 131,121 left over for the food pantry that was not utilized by the grandparents program. We had 2 grants. I'm sorry, this was money that was left over from the COVID-19 Fund 1 from the grandparents. They did not utilize the money for the food pantry. It's 121,121.76, and we're asking to give that to EVAs for the same program.
Did anybody else apply for this?
The only one applied was EVAs.
So,
Council President.
See that?
1 second.
See how that just went down?
Councilman Abinadez.
Hey, Council President.
Just like that.
Derek, I just have a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
Take away the funds that are in front of you. These
See
funds,
that?
I know the money that we, that comes in from the federal government. These funds, are they
And there ain't no
specific
media
to
in there
certain
nowhere
things?
to
Or
record
is it
this,
just generic,
except
right?
us.
Like, I see a cleanup program, I see a food bank program, I saw tier 1 recovery. What's the,
When we get regular funding, regular CDBG funds, you have 191 categories. You get to choose which categories for the community you represent. That's more important. We ask our constituents to give us a survey. Some say rental, nutrition, substance abuse, youth services, neighborhood cleanup. So those are the things that we put in our action plan. It's usually no more than 6 items that we will address with these funds.
so what are the, so you're saying the federal government gives us 191 categories, the city of Paterson picks 6.
Yes.
So what are our 6 right now?
Right now, youth services, neighborhood cleanup,
Hold on. What else?
senior services,
Senior services.
substance abuse,
All right.
mental health, parks and neighborhood renovations, or public facility renovations.
All right. And that's 6.
Yeah,
All right, and
and nutrition, I'm sorry.
nutrition. All right, I'm gonna put a request in here. Can you send me the 191?
I'll send it to everyone on this panel, but I'll send it again.
Email me,
I will
please,
send it
the
again.
191 and this, do these 6 or 7 that you just said, is that a yearly action plan now?
Yes.
All right. For example, and I'm gonna give a hypothetical here. The city could take all these resources and fund recreation, correct?
No.
So the city
You
can't.
have a percentage of how much you can use for public service, and the public service has to address those, at least 6 of those things that I just told you. Recreation is one of them, but we have not had a request for recreation in a few years.
No, so the reason I'm asking, right? The reason I'm asking for future projections
our budget projection, right? And Madam BA left, and we're just CFO. We're about to hit a budget deficit, all right? We're about to hit a big, big budget deficit. We're gonna have a very tough discussion, a very serious discussion. So some of this money, could the city utilize it and supplement some of the programs that we have? So for example, if we have $1 million, I'll just say for example, if we have $1 million that comes in from here, could we take that $1 million and get 500,000 to DPW, 500,000 to recreation? Why not?
Because the city has their own responsibility to your own programs. These programs are for the community, and it's to supplement the community. Yes, we can help supplement some of our programs. That's why we help with park renovations.
So only nonprofits can take this
Yes,
money?
only nonprofits.
So our parks stuff that comes from CBD,
CDBG has to take an application for park renovation only from DPW.
so yeah, but you're, so the one,
Yes, you cannot use all the money for
You
the
can't.
city's programs.
but we could use some. What's the percentage?
It depends. Well, for public services, 15%, and for public facilities, about 45%. 20% is for admin. The other one is for housing counseling or housing renovation. So it's more, the city can utilize as much funds as they can, but you have to ask the public if that's what they want to do. It's not just what the council wants. It has to be what the public has recommended that the council fund.
So what did you use for, to get it?
I did a survey. We actually going to do a training, having a meeting on the 14th of December for our new application, 2023.
So-
You're welcome to attend. There is a survey that every sub-recipients sign. They let me know what they believe they need to have.
Oh, so you only send it to the organizations?
Anyone that comes to the public, and I don't do a master plan, that's economic development. Anyone is allowed to come to the public meeting. It is open to.
And that's the way you solicited the survey from
Yes,
that?
that's
How
what
many,
it says.
how many people do you usually have from that public?
It depends. One year, when COVID hit, we had maybe 40 or 50 people. 40, 50 organizations that did this.
When's this meeting? Because I want to learn more about
14th
this.
of December.
December 14th.
Council President.
10
Thank you, Council President.
Council President. It was an
You're
inside.
just gonna open the right, Councilman Khan.
Okay. Robert, Director, I hear you saying about that they're gonna be a public meeting, but the last few years of getting information, the people had to look on the website to know when there was gonna be a meeting.
We posted on the website.
You do not call
We do
them,
not, no.
you do not send out no email.
If they
So
call
if
us,
somebody's
we tell
not, if they're not watching that website, and I found the majority of the nonprofits were not watching the website, they actually didn't know when to apply, when it was coming out. They didn't know nothing because they gotta have somebody in their department watching the website on a constant basis in order to know that, you know what, we got the CDBG money, now we're gonna have a website, I mean, we're gonna have a meeting and let you know, but I think that it gotta get changed, you can't, I think an email should be sent out to all these organizations that are on the list that we got CDBG money coming down, and then we're gonna have a meeting, and if you wanna apply, this is what you can apply for. Because watching that website, that's why you only will see 1 or 2 people applying, because they don't know when it's coming out. So that's the only issue that I have, that it gotta be done a different kind of way, but I'm not sure what the federal government requires you to do. And let me tell you, I just had the opportunity, and I've met the director of HUD in Washington DC, but it was an honor to meet that lady. Hopefully she will be calling me. But we gotta figure out another way of doing this because it's not working.
Thank you. Councilman Davis?
So, just a follow-up on some of the questions previously asked. So when it comes to the survey, how is it done? Is it manually done or it's manually done? Okay, so that's probably one problem, right? So with a population of 160 plus more, how many surveys are we receiving now?
This year we received, I believe, 33 surveys.
Okay, so if we have 160,000 plus residents and only 33 surveys came back, that's not a good response to say what the community wants. It doesn't really speak to the community in and of itself, so that's a problem. Number two, what are the methods used for sending out the information?
We put it on the notice on the city's website. We notify the clerk when we are gonna schedule the council chambers for a meeting. We, put it in newspapers, 4 newspapers that were quoted, the Arab Voice, the Especialito, the Herald News, and the Record.
I didn't go back and look.
Okay, based on what you're utilizing currently, what is the response rate that you're receiving?
It's usually the same people that have been funded year after year after year after year.
Okay, so is that like 2 people, is it 5 people?
This year we had, I want to say 19 came to the public meeting and we received 17 or 18 applications for funding.
Okay, and do you know what the number of not-for-profits are in the community?
No.
Okay, so that's another concern, right? We have lots of not-for-profits in our community. And some of them, one of the concerns is that they may not even be aware that this money is available. So I think there needs to be some touring of our community, or maybe a meeting with the not-for-profits in the, on the VA's not here. But Corporation Council, if we can get from it down. But I think there needs to be a call to action meeting for all not-for-profits in the community to let them know that this is what's happening. We have money that's coming down the pipe. This is the deadlines, the dates, just a quick overview before any of the applications, because if the response rate is this low, that's a problem. When we're using the city's website, I'm not sure we grant funded a data management specialist. So I am wondering, and Madam BA is not here, I'm wondering if that's a part of the analysis that's being done through that data analysis person through our website, which it should be if we're giving out money, right? I know it's not, that's what I'm saying, it should be if we're doing analysis. Corporation Council to Madam BA, this should be included. How many cookies are used or how many users are going into the system and getting that data is probably very minuscule. We need to check into that. Nothing against the entities that get it because they know that it's happening because they get it all the time. But I also want to see some of our other not-for-profits that are trying to do some things and maybe struggling that are not aware that they can get it too. So I want us to make sure when we do our community forums that we're doing them all across the city, because 33 is very low. That doesn't represent a population of any of the boards. In totality, it's a very small number. So
Yeah,
I
like
think
the
we gotta
election
do a
numbers.
better job of getting the information out to the community and to the non-for-profits. One, to the community to identify what are the real needs in the community. I see the list that you gave, and I think it's a good list or a good starting list, but a lot of the money, based on the years, is possibly utilization wasn't done because of COVID, because it was during the COVID time when we were hot. But do you get information from these entities that did not use their money of why? So what are some of the reasons that they didn't use it?
They were not allowed to have people come in their facility for the grandparents, that was one of them. They could not have them come to fill out the application as a requirement. Could not just receive the food. You had to fill out an application to be determined eligible.
Okay, so when they didn't do it, so did they didn't choose to apply at this point? So
They applied for different pot funds. They gave back the ones for COVID, and they applied for senior services.
Okay, yeah, we have to definitely, Corporation Council, recommendations to the VA, we have to do a better job of getting the information out to all the non-for-profits. First of all, to the community at large, to do a survey on identifying what are the real needs. But then after that survey is done and we do a variation of what our key areas are, then we need to meet with the non-for-profit. Let's see, a wonderful meeting they're doing, I think it's Thursday, they're having the business owners. I think they should do the same thing for the non-for-profits, have them come in, give it out to them, maybe it's a $10, $20 charge, whatever the cost is, but let them come into a room, feed them, right? And then give this information to them, because we gotta you know, and that's not for you, that's for the administration. But I think we have to educate the not-for-profits because we have to make sure that the not-for-profits know what's here. This is a lot of money, and we always have the same names. And then some, I've seen too, where some entities, where they may not be in a certain area, but if they can get money somewhere else, I see them applying for other things too. So I want to make sure that the other not-for-profits that have some skill sets, they may not have the full capacity to do all the work, but at least they can have, as they say, a bite at the apple. So that's to the administration. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Willie.
Thank you, Council President, Director McLennan. So when you said 6 services that you determined out of 100 million, how do you determine the 6 services?
I just said HUD has a list, they're called matrix codes.
Right.
And there are about 191 matrix codes that HUD has determined across the country what is eligible for funding for CDBG. And the community has to narrow it down to a small section of it. You cannot have all 191, everybody will get maybe $10. So you need to figure out what is more important. And in this case, the agencies that came to our public meeting last said it was mental health counseling, substance abuse, rental assistance, nutrition, youth services, park renovations, facility improvements. In that case, it was more like the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA or the library. So those were the facilities that they were talking about.
So you have done this survey on these items?
Yes.
And that's the response rate that you responded to consumer names that 35 responded responsibly?
It was about that, yes.
Right. So, same thing that as Councilman Mims said, it's not true in any way number, it's like 1% of the population that live in the city of Paterson. So I think we have to find other means of reaching out to the community. So since you have branches in different schools, right? So I think we can maybe use student population, reach out to the school district, to the parents, because that's, I think we have to go in different directions. Just advertising in the newspaper. I don't think anybody responds to any of the surveys looking at the newspapers or the advertisements you are doing. I think all the response you get back, and I'm the one of the responders too, on the email, that you send email to the individual that you are in front of, right? So I think we have to find different means that represent the need of the community.
We actually pass the survey out only at the public meeting. We do not pass it out in an email. You have to attend the public meeting to get the survey.
No, so what's the email that we receive sometimes that, for example, on November 28th, there is an email that came, do you need health insurance? And there is a survey from NGCDC.
That's not me. I don't know
So,
that.
yeah, that's coming from NGCDC as well. That's what I'm saying. Is this survey you're counting on, or is it a different survey?
Our survey is our survey.
Your
Those
survey.
are the nonprofit surveys. That's not.
Got it. So I think that we have to find different ways to reach out to the community, because this is not, with that response rate, you cannot say it's the demand of the community. So if we need our help, that yes, council members, you advertise in a way, then of course we'll be part of it. If our bike is right here, if you think you want to, implement whatever means we have in the city to make sure that.
We will send you the notice for the 14th. You can send it to your constituents. You can notify your particular area of the city, but it's already gone out. We've already notified the newspaper. We've already advertised. We've already put it on the public website. And again, the same agencies that are in this room now are the same agencies that comes to the public meeting.
Is there any restriction that if you send the same survey to the school district, if you are part of the school district, since you're leading some of the
It
programs?
would have to be filled out by a parent, and it's only for nonprofits. It's not for parents.
No, I totally understand that part. I'm saying that since school district has the list of the parents in their contacts that you don't have, do you think you can use Paterson Public School that request them to send a mass email to the parents on their list
but the parents can't apply for the grant.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I'm not talking about the grant.
But they
We
can't
are talking about the needs of the community,
That would
survey.
be the nonprofit asking the parents to fill out what is their needs for their kid.
Right.
It would not be me, because I cannot accept that. I understand what you would like me to do, but I cannot.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Every year, since I've been here, every year, we talk about this issue. And every year, what I see is a lot of non-profits out there, they don't even apply. And every year, Cindy, when she comes in front of us, she has money left over from prior year to prior year, 3, 4, 5 years ago. So, as a council member, I think any nonprofits that we know, we should let them know, okay, this is what's going on. You could get some funding, you see CDBG, go apply. So
CDBG
I
funds,
what
that's
we
used
should
for,
help her
yeah,
to promote it.
it's used for
Councilman
nonprofits.
Thank you.
Nonprofits can apply
So,
for it.
Director, thank you.
That's what I'm saying. Get into it. Yes, sir.
I have one suggestion. One that the mayor likes to do a lot of press conference. Oh, yeah, he does.
Because you're there with him.
Yeah, he does.
You're there with him.
I'll be right there translating in Spanish.
Well, at least he admitted it. At least he admitted it.
No, I haven't.
We need another person.
No,
that's what we need. That's what we need.
Director, just to have a little clarification. When I see the leftover from 2019, 2020, we understand it's a COVID situation, right? But out of the 838.22, how much original funding they got? 25, so they left over 800,000. And the other one was the 17 they left over, it was
They got
60,000. Okay. And for cleaning, neighborhood cleanup, CDBG, how much they requested?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think they got 70.
70,000, correct. So they left over those, our cities that look dirty, they could use the other 6,000, 8,000. But,
Councilman,
the original, I wanna hear the original amount. The original amount, I didn't interrupt nobody.
No,
I was
Councilman, forget about interruption. She went line by line, beginning.
No, she didn't tell me the amount that they received and what, she said the leftover.
She went line by line, man.
But it's good to know how much they
She gave the full report, bro.
No.
For page 2,
Yes,
on
correct.
page 2, that is the amount they were awarded, they just didn't spend anything. That's why it's left.
Okay.
That's what you said, though. You already said it. She said that already.
They had a chance to come and ask, request those funds again, but they
Yeah,
decided to
she said it
request
already.
other programs, for other programs.
I only can speak on the grandparents, I can't speak on the other one.
Right.
But COVID happened with the Girl Scout, and they couldn't have Girl Scouts come to their facility. And
Okay,
same thing for the
so
music program.
Eva's Village, I'm right here, they are good neighbors here in the Fifth Ward. Where they have their food bank program?
It should be a walk in the park, bro.
Where
Huh?
they manage their food bank program.
Like seriously, dog.
No.
It's almost embarrassing, like.
They have a program to feed people on the table. When we talk about food bank, it's people like, we have Kumac. Oh, they belong to Kumac?
And then we can pull the different
Yeah,
video
yeah, I want to
clips,
know
you know.
where they operate a food bank.
Where it's going. What we doing? We pull it right off YouTube.
Yeah, please. Because a lot of people looking for food banks, and I just send people there. I just want to know where they're at.
I'm Laura Van from Eva's Village, and so during COVID, we had to stop serving in our dining room, and we provided food on a to-go basis. So people lined up on the street, and we literally bagged meals and provided it that way as to go. During COVID, we had to do that. We did that for almost 2 years.
So what we're doing is granting money for things that are already done.
Correct.
Okay, because we're talking about 2019, 20, I thought that it's gonna be for moving forward in other food banks or whatever, that's what I'm saying. So you are giving the funds to organization that already did the service, in other words.
Yes. Thank you, Councilman. Item 70 and 71 will be regular, Madam Clerk. Councilman Jackson?
Very quickly, Council President. I'm sorry, Director, I need the young lady's name.
You want both of them on regular?
Yes.
So I just have a question for your feeding program. Do you guys, take an inventory of the individuals you're feeding relative to?
No, we do not. Anyone and everyone can come into the kitchen. We don't want to take down any information, we don't want to deter anyone from coming in. So they walk right in. Now, of course, we count the number of meals we serve, but we do not
Ain't that something?
gather data on our guests.
So the opportunity.
I mean, they come in here cleaning up, bro.
Are non-existent when it comes to the feeding program?
No, actually, we consider the kitchen as a gateway to our other
Trying
programs
to think of
because
other people to
people come into
tag
the
here.
kitchen, our staff, our volunteers engage with them, they converse with them. Very often, we'll have people who are repeat coming in again and again. We engage with them and we
Here it
start
is.
asking, why are you coming into the kitchen? What are your challenges? And we actually can then guide them to our other services. So we actually see the kitchen as really the gateway to our other services.
Okay, because, I'm just curious, because I noticed and I do understand that the dining room is closed. Is the plan to reopen the dining room soon?
And I'm sorry, that just if I wasn't clear before, the dining room was closed, but it reopened in April of this year. So we do sit-down service now in the kitchen.
So
We
are you
serve-
still allowing those individuals to take out containers? But now I see you sitting outside in front of the church.
Yeah,
bringing
the
things.
takeaway is an exception. It's mostly sit-down service in the dining room. There's a handful of people we do provide to-go meals for because of individual reasons, but it's mostly sit-down service in the dining room.
Great, thank you.
Thank you,
I have a question. I just have a
Councilman
question.
Means has a.
Director, on item 71, I see the listing of the programs of allocation, but what is, you have 2022 contingency, 150,000. What is that for on page 2 for 71?
That's for HESG Emergency Solutions. We had awarded Arcana the current year money and did not award her the previous year money. So we're asking to switch it. So we'll be in contingency. We won't be giving it to them. We'll come back to you and ask.
So just a point of I'm not sure, Madam BA, but it says, it doesn't explain it, so maybe there needs to be a footnote or asterisk identified in this resolution so that it won't be an issue when you come back. But it's not listed here, it just says contingency with a dollar amount, and that's what you're trying to do. That should be identified in this resolution. Madam BA.
Council President?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm understanding what Councilwoman Mims is saying, that the contingency is that you're going to award it to Garcia.
Arcana's was awarded already under 2022, when it should have been awarded under 2021.
So, but okay, then how come the name wasn't put next to the contingency?
Right.
Because it was done last year?
No, it's in, if you look at the bottom of the resolution, it's the statement that Arcana was one of the ones that were applied for money, but we gave them money 2022 instead of 21.
Okay, now I'm saying, I'm saying that she got two coming.
No, she could potentially apply for 22.
Okay,
It's under contingency right now. We gotta go out again, advertise, and see who comes in. But right now, she's getting 21. We're just correcting it.
no, I see 21 there, right. Okay, so now they go back out. And that's my other question, Council President, that I wanted to know exactly how much money we did get from COVID, from the government, and how much actually was spent already. Because there was quite a bit of money that came in for COVID for different items. No, but the thing is that people, I kind of make everybody understand, when 2020 hit, everything got shut down, programs couldn't run, nobody could do nothing, nobody could go, nobody could go, they couldn't do anything. Sometimes that's why the money couldn't get spent, because they couldn't come in. So, you asked Sir Councilman Jackson that the total allocation we got for COVID-19 money and how much was already spent. And we got left.
Thank you.
So we're gonna amend, we're gonna, put that in the, okay.
Yes, request is in, Councilmember, Health and Human Services, thank you, Director. Thank you, Director. Health and Human Service and Public Works has a couple of items. Right after that, we go to public portion. Health and Human Services, one item, item 47.
Council President?
Wow.
Chair.
Yeah, this is, I think we go consent, stuff that we get every year when it comes to payment.
What number?
Item 47.
47, I would recommend for consent, Council President.
Accept cancel fund from,
That's what we've been going on for a while.
committee,
So consent.
consent. Director Rodriguez, item 48 to 54.
And 72.
And 72. Councilman Velez.
What is 72?
Actually, can you go in order? Give us a brief summary.
48 is the,
Oh, 72, we'll go consent.
48 is the contract for HVAC system for the whole city.
Consent.
Item 49. Consent, Madam Clerk.
Monitoring well, this is a
Consent. Consent. I'm gonna do like after the consent, let me see the agenda.
50 is,
Let the director speak, Councilman.
49, Council President, I have a question.
Councilwoman Means.
Can you just provide a list of all the monitor wells that are throughout the city? Because I know we've done a lot, but you just provide a list.
Can 49 be consent? Thank you,
Yes.
49 is consent. Number 50.
50 is a resolution from the state for the Route 80 rebate. It's the stop sign, the stop light at Railroad and 21st Avenue.
Consent?
It's gonna be paid by NJDOT.
Yes.
Wait up. That's, no, it's not, that's gonna be a traffic red light.
Yes.
Well, that's the one by where the skate park is?
Yes.
There's a light right by it. So there's gonna be two lights?
Yes.
The issue, Council President, if I could jump in here, the issue is that we're moving the park away to the other side of the road. And so it's to make sure pedestrian safety of crossing the street in order to get to the park. Because of the work that's being done in order to the expansion.
Once the highway is done on top, they're gonna come down and reconfigure the whole park, the skate park, and the empty lot is First Street, and this is gonna help the pedestrian walkways in.
Who's recommending this?
NJDOT.
Oh, it's from the DOT.
Yeah,
So why is the
like
DOT?
30 engineers have been involved in this from state level.
So why is the
Outside
DOT, none of those roads are DOT?
They're gonna be.
21st Avenue Railroad.
Once the highway goes over it, it supersedes.
Because of the bringing in expansion
You
contract.
can't pull YouTube up
I
on
know where it's above. How is that directed, how is that expansion up top?
For the traffic.
Guys, just, listen, it's gonna be a bottleneck. Now, because right when you make a left, there's gonna be there's a light maybe
2 blocks
40 feet, not 2 blocks, 40 feet. You go right under the trestle, there's another light.
Councilman, we can send you the whole traffic plan.
No, but what I'm saying is that the principle here, right? These are local roads. The highway's not spilling onto the local road. They can expand it all they want.
But you have to understand that where the park, the skate park is at right now, is gonna be their, the construction zone. They're gonna be storing their.
Joy.
The storage zone right there. They're gonna be storing, that skate park is gonna be out there.
So we're putting a traffic light,
Yes.
just
In the
because
green-
they're storing
no,
the
right here.
road.
No, but after the.
In the
fact,
green shirt right there,
they're gonna
right there.
build a park.
next to Cameo.
You guys get?
Mhm.
I got it.
From what
I was
I'm
just
thinking,
saying,
what
I was just
what you
saying,
guys
hey.
wanna say is they're gonna
I was just
move
saying, hey.
the park, and the reason they're putting a traffic light, they're gonna move the park closer to the road.
They're asking us for our input, they're gonna do whatever we want, whatever kind of park we wanna put there.
I know.
After the fact.
What street are they talking about again? They're talking about the skate park, 21st Ave, at the end of 21st Ave.
So we're putting, I know, but Forget about
Oh,
the traffic
okay.
light.
Yeah.
We're approving a traffic light.
One at a time, Councilman.
I don't understand, no one's giving me a reason how
Huh?
the road is again wider, we're not putting more cars on Route 80. You're
I could do
putting
it
a
yours because
traffic
I'm
light
live
there,
streaming on YouTube,
which
so I'll use yours.
30 feet under the
Yep.
trestle
And I'll just
is
flip it
another
sideways
traffic
and
light. I drive, that's what I
Yep.
drive home every day from
But
City Hall.
if I'm not, because Jackson Street is
ready,
where
got
the
it.
open lot is at, where some people store wood chips and stuff.
put it in
That's
4K,
the
so it'll be
permanent
real
park
nice and
after
sharp.
the
See,
construction
4K,
route.
real nice and sharp there.
So where the skate park at and everything, that's gonna be the construction zone.
Turn
And
it.
then maybe there'll be
You want
a
it
fitness
sideways
zone
or
something
like this?
I'm great with that, Darrell. I think
Okay.
everyone's confused with what,
No,
how does that impact, how does that impact the
I need you
traffic?
to hold mine. I need you to hold mine, I'll hold his.
What the DOT did is they did a traffic study to look
Yeah,
at the
sideways.
ability to have this as a pedestrian crosswalk. Right now, it is not a pedestrian crosswalk. And they looked at all the possibilities. Should it be stop signs? Should it be blinking stop signs? It was busy enough that they think in order for pedestrian safety to utilize that park, it needs to be a traffic signal.
So I want everyone to realize, where's my councilwoman Mims over there? She's been advocating for traffic lights. I can guarantee you those intersections are way more busier, but the DOT comes here. There's no cars that go through right now. So when you go there,
They're gonna
right?
be,
There's a lot of traffic.
they're gonna be.
East Railway, 21st Ave.
There's a lot of
I
traffic.
mean, Railway 21st Ave. You drive there right now, there is no traffic.
At this time of night, no.
There's probably pockets, just like anything in Paterson, but what I'm trying to say is, we advocate for streetlights in any other part of the city. And they tell us, no, 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 and I guarantee you, when it's in-house,
Somebody just
You
commented.
gotta realize that the county building is
You
maybe
don't see it on my.
a quarter mile away from that intersection.
yeah,
That's the inlet, the outlet from that county building to the highways.
yeah.
So that's part of the scope of work for that.
So
The
just,
question is,
the
Councilman, I
DOT's,
think the difference here is that we can advocate all we want, we can't get other pockets of funding for the lights we need, so we're starting to bond for any traffic signals that we need to add ourselves. This is something that they are
And
moving
of course,
the park, and so they are adding the traffic signal at their expense
so
in
you're
order
going,
to properly do it.
you're going on record saying we're having the traffic light for pedestrian safety, correct?
I believe every traffic light.
Yes,
is
in order to-
Oh, no, when we ask Hung Chow, we say, hey, we need a stop sign, or we need this because they're speeding, and there's pedestrians.
This is not.
He specifically tells me, we don't use traffic signals to utilize speeding or pedestrian stuff.
It's not for
That's two
speeding,
different
it's
things,
it's to move a park,
Just
and there
consider-
was a traffic study done. So this is not just Billy saying it or
This
the
is,
administration.
this is not, Councilman, this is not 6 months ago. This is 8 years, 10 years in the making.
I'm good, it's just, I want.
If it's
I want
8 years, then
because
why'd they put the skate park there?
When we, I'm not against this. I just want to remain consistent when other people on this council advocate for certain things, and when the DOT is not involved, we go through hoops and jumps and bounds to get something in-house, right?
Council President,
Thank you, Council President.
Council President,
Item number 50 gonna be regular, Madam.
Council President,
You put on consent.
thank you. The Director, we need to acknowledge that.
Councilman, 1 second, please, one second. Item 50 gonna be consent. Councilman Velez?
Council, Director,
Yes.
can I?
Okay, leave it as regular.
All right,
Councilman
so Council President, I just want to highlight something here. DOT just gave her $650,000 for pedestrian safety to take care issues in the city.
Yes.
And that funding is available to traffic and to DPW. So
This has to do
the
with-
studies, I know.
Yeah.
The study is addressing other, that funding will be addressing other issues like Councilwoman Mins is requesting this and signs and all that stuff. What I just want to keep a highlight here is that as soon as this construction starts in Route 80, there's gonna be more flow of traffic, trucks, et cetera, through that corridor that Aldous is talking about. And that traffic light is gonna be coordinating with the changes, with the new technology, that when the other one and 20 and Straight Street change, it will not create a traffic hazard. The only difference here is that people have to learn how to drive and respect rules of traffic. So that's a good benefit for the area, especially when the park is finished.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
Director, I
Yes.
just want to make sure, and I know you're always diligent, but the level of park that's placed in, I'm hoping that it's going to be state-of-the-art cement ramps.
Yes.
Not what's currently there.
No.
Oh, yeah.
What every town is using, every municipality is using, we'll use the same location.
Thank you. Item number 51 is taken off. Item 52, 53, and 54.
52 is our sewer operator, contract. This is a year renewal.
That's a yearly renewal.
Consent.
Consent, 53
53 is a yearly renewal.
for hardware.
Hardware.
Consent, 54.
Oh, that's 53,
Yes.
regular.
54.
54 is, our laterals, emergency lateral repair.
Consent.
72.
72, I did say is, what is it?
72 is the, additional appropriations for the two sewer trucks that we purchased last year.
yes.
That you guys-
Sewer trucks.
Yes, the two sewer trucks.
Consent.
Thank you.
Two trucks that we received.
Two.
72.
To clean the cash, please.
Council President, for clarification, item number 53, is that regular or consent?
53 is on consent. I don't know, Councilman say regular.
53 is regular, 54 is consent.
Consent, regular.
52 is consent.
So the DPW item that's regular is 53.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Correct.
Have a good night.
Have a great night, Council.
Good job. That's what I noticed you didn't sit down.
We'll open up the public portion now.
Yes.
How many speakers do we have?
Excuse me? May he sign?
President, we have
He
11
would like to sign.
speakers.
First speaker, please.
First speaker is Mr. David B. Gilmore.
Mr. Gilmore.
I'm gonna, well, from over here.
Good evening, council. I still continue to call the Jesus family up to stand with me when I address you. Because it's 10 months now, last Friday, and they still have not received any satisfaction related to response to what happened to Felix. So, having said all that, I don't understand why people want to poke the bear. I don't bother nobody. I have my opinions. My opinions are strong. I'm opinionated about things. But I don't bother nobody. So today, the newspaper, in their zeal to sell paper for information, reposted the fact that my case, or one of them, has been resubmitted to the federal court for the defamation claims that I've made. And there was some responses posted in the paper. I hadn't said anything. I don't know where they got these responses from. It wasn't from me, but it was probably in the script of the letter to the federal magistrate. But but the legal department made comments about my suit being frivolous and that the monies that were being associated to this particular case, as exorbitant as it was, and I don't know how much they paid so far, but third-party lawyers, all they're interested in is billable hours. So that they may be coming after me for that. Well, you come if you want to. The fact of the matter is, I have the documents. I have more than enough to win this case multiple times over. Okay, so that leads me to some of these other questions that I'm going to answer on number 56 and 57. The Art Factory, which is coming for an entertainment license. God only knows how many years they've worked without it, because it was a couple of years ago that there was controversy came about them not following or finishing the process of the conditional abatement for the tickets that they received, over 200 tickets, where I was denied the opportunity to speak in my First Amendment rights to speak at this podium. So I would like to know when in fact they got the approval before, and or if they came back and addressed the issues of the tickets, because it's a public safety matter. You see what I mean? And everybody down here partying, wait till there's a fire or something happens in there and people get killed. The other thing is, it's a matter of current events. I noticed, and no disrespect to Roberto Clemente, but what happened to Martin Luther King? How did that happen? Who decided that they was going to take him down after 11, 12 years of it? It was before, a couple of years ago, when the same sign disappeared during Hispanic Heritage Month, that I contacted Jimmy Richardson, the historian, and I got a new banner. It was given to me, and I gave it and put it up here. Well, I want my banner back because I don't want nothing to happen to it, because I want to be able to use it in other events. Okay? What's his name? Larry Doby is gone. He hasn't been there in I don't know how long, missing in action. Tyron Franklin was missing a couple times in terms of his representation here as a fallen officer. And now, where's the vote? What was the process in changing and taking Martin Luther King down as a national icon for civil rights? No disrespect to Mr. Clemente, the baseball player, but I'm talking about Martin Luther King, our representative, our icon. Why is he gone? And when is he coming back? You know, I've said it on numerous occasions. We are now guests in our whole community. What's going on? So where's the process? Who authorized it? How did it happen?
Council President, man.
No.
That doesn't mean it.
Public portion.
So, having said that, lastly, Council President, I took a little heat, which I don't mind. I'm a big boy, I can take it. People didn't like the fact that I mixed the issue of the key to the city and or Madam Clerk getting her recognition of the key to the city and or the fact that she never received
An apology.
just reward in terms of an apology for what happened. The 3 different times that she was challenged and her credibility besmirched, that she didn't know what she was doing, and 3 separate times through the Superior Court fighting to take away what she had done as common practice in the approval of the balloting process. Now we have, she's gone, and I'm gonna take this moment to say it again because she had her moment. Now we're going to talk about, we're going to replace Madam Clerk. Who better than the Deputy Clerk, who has been sitting in her stead all this time? Are we going to go back to where we were with Julio Tavares years ago with the mayor? Yeah.
Thank you.
Julio Tavares and the mayor trying to level the playing field on racial issues. It's not what it's about. Who's doing the job? So I think she's doing a fine job, and she should be recognized to be able to continue. And who is
the appointing authority? Is it the mayor or is it the council? It's the council.
Please wrap it up, Mr. Gilmore.
Yes, I'm wrapping it right now. So I just want to put that out there and let you know that we'll be going to federal court soon, and all these complications will come to a head, and we'll find
Locura,
out
qué locura,
who's
de
lying.
verdad. Qué
Who's lying.
locura.
And where's the story with the art factory and or the approvals based on the conditional abatement of those tickets, if it ever happens?
Thank you.
Y'all got a problem.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker, Mr. President, is Ms. Sharon Nero.
What's the name again?
Sharon Nero.
Not here. Next speaker.
Next speaker, I have a Joy.
I don't see her either. Next speaker.
Kelly Brown.
Carrie Brown. Next speaker.
Cameo Black. Cameo Black, 7 South High Street. Couple of council people. About 2.5 years ago, I reached out to y'all with a situation with my cousin in the hospital due to stomach problems. Nobody got back in touch with me. He stayed in here for 2 years and 7 months. He died on my birthday, December 4th. We've been asked the mother to reach out to everybody that she could reach out to for help. And it's fucked up, excuse my language. Nobody reached back out. Y'all laugh, y'all sit up here, everything a fucking joke to y'all. So it's one of y'all kids. These people asking for help. Why the fuck we gotta keep coming begging for fucking justice? But when y'all want votes, we out here on the ground, fucking working for y'all, kissing y'all ass when y'all need the votes, and afterwards it's fuck us. So from now on, the same thing, it's fuck y'all too. The DOT thing that you talking about, Valez, you in the 5th Ward. I've been asking for the longest. Eastside High School, they said is on the city. Them kids don't got no crossing guards. Somebody kid gonna die, and it's gonna be somebody else burying their kids. You stay laughing and giggling with the mayor. Tell them to do something before somebody else's kid get hurt. You know how it feel to lose one. Even though it wasn't your blood, no shade towards you, something need to be fucking done. These kids is in fucking distress. Everybody sitting up here, keep, high. I got so many receipts. I go in my pocket when I work for the summer camp. I would never feed them kids that shit that they fucking feeding them kids. I cooked out every day, 97-degree weather. Don't went through surgeries, hernias, everything. About the kids. If it's about the kids, when y'all asking for votes, make it about the fucking kids. Make it about the public. Because at all, it's not about us. It's about y'all and the money in y'all fucking pocket. Nobody don't give a fuck about us. And from now on, I'm going to make it the same way. Because I can make it like that. Nobody not standing with us. How long they been down here? Asking for help. It's not about to give fucking birth. And she's still here. And all y'all doing is laughing, leaving your face. Everything. It's a fucking joke. I haven't been able to come down here, but you too. Corporation man, I got you on video coming in my face. So criminal charges are going to be pressed against that too. It's a lot that the city about to be hit with. So y'all better be ready. Everybody talking this money shit, and it's not about money. It's about respect. People got families. We gotta bury him. We asked God 2 years and 7 months ago, please, all we wanted was him to be transferred to another hospital. It never happened. Now what we're about to do, fucking bury him, 24 years old. It's enough, I'm tired. And I'm not coming back down here because y'all don't care about us. It's funny to y'all. But the tears is real, the hurt is real, the pain is fucking real. And I'm tired of it. Y'all need to be ready.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Sammy Murray. Yeah. Sammy Murray. Next speaker is Cora T.
Mr. T.
Good evening, Corey T, 65 Prince Street. So I'm here once again, as you know, to support.
Maybe as you wasn't around, you don't gotta ask no questions. You wasn't around. They know the ones that got the inboxes, the emails. All right, I don't want to pinpoint nobody, but they know who they is. You wasn't one of them, so don't worry about it. They know who it is, with all due respect.
Mr. T.
First of all, I do want to give my condolences to the family. And you know, this young man, family reached out to me and I've been rocking with them from the very beginning, trying to get them out of that garbage dump up there on Main Street that gets a lot of grant money, but don't pay their fair share of taxes or public service. That's a whole nother topic. We're gonna deal with that. But I'm here tonight for the De Jesus family, as you all well know. There were some statements made on Facebook. As always, people are always on Facebook making statements, and today there was what I would consider the most eloquent verbalization of absolute absurdity that I've ever seen. And, oh, you know, well, you know what, I won't even give the person any credit, but I will say this. If you have an issue with me assisting this family, do something about it. Help us find it. Help us get some answers. If you have that much energy to talk junk and to put your opinion out there, get out your ass and do something. Help this family out. We got a lot of talkers in this community, but when it's time to stand up, many times, I'm not gonna say all the time, but many times, I'm standing alone. And I don't have a problem saying that. When the televised meeting comes up, I'm gonna say it again. The city, let me just say this. What took place a couple weeks ago was a fluke, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you can say that you're that upset with the way the school lunches look, but you're not upset with the way the streets look, that the children have to go down to get to school. You're not upset with the conditions that the city's in, but a fruit dish and a sandwich sent you into overdrive. But the conditions of this community is fine. Everybody felt that that sandwich and that fruit cup was so outrageous that it warranted all the encumbrance to be removed, but the conditions of the city are not that bad. So my question is, why are you guys still on Facebook? Why are you guys still live complaining about the city when the time comes to actually do something about it, you don't do anything about it? But again, it's very hard to point fingers at the mayor when crumbs from his cookie jar are falling from your fingers. And in time, we're going to see who's in the mayor's back pocket. A lot of them, I'll just say it like this, pay their pigmentation no consideration. Because there's a lot of pseudo-black leaders in this community that are standing with the mayor when they're supposed to be standing for their community. Every other nationality in this city that has formed a committee for their community stands with their community. And you can't knock them for that.
That's
but
right.
when it comes to us, we don't do it.
Chicken George.
We don't do it.
Shucking and jiving.
Cooning is very popular in this community. I said it on social media, I can say it here. I was waiting for some of those folks that were talking junk on social media to meet me here tonight. I guess that's just not in their purview. Whenever you're ready, we can have that conversation. I'll be back again to say it again. If you have an issue with me standing up with this family, do something about it and help us find it.
Thank you, Corey.
Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker, Ms. Crystal Garcia.
You gotta need to know what's going on, you know. A lot of things go on in darkness in the city. And even though people are not just
Good evening to all in attendance. 308 days in counting. We came tonight to find out if there's any response on the letter sent to the Attorney General's office from the City Council that was dated 27th of October with respect to Phillips' case. It's been 6 weeks and I would think that we would be able to reply and would be enough time to reply to the recent 3 elements that were requested. That the Attorney General office take over the investigation into Felix de Jesus' disappearance. Also requested that should the state not take over the investigation, the Office of Attorney General provide all available resources to locate him. Lastly, requested that pursuant to the Internal Affairs Policy and Procedures, the Attorney General authorized the full and public release of internal affairs investigations related to Mr. de Jesus.
The release of any internal affairs files would only lead to transparency to this matter and may also assist with the missing person investigation. Corporation Counsel, has there been any response from the AG's office on the City Council's matter? We will be in the room if you would like to provide us with any updates after I finish my statement. Again, we want to remind the public that the De Jesus family is offering a reward of $20,000 for the safe return of Felix De Jesus to the family or any information leading to the arrest and conviction of any and all persons involved with Felix's mysterious disappearance or possible demise. This is in addition to the $15,000 being offered by Houghton and Paterson Police Department. So the total reward for the information is $35,000. Someone out there knows something about this case, and we know you probably don't sleep well at night knowing what you know. Please do the right thing so that the Jesus family can get closure. Contact Captain George Guzman, Detective Sergeant Timothy Lindbergh, or Detective Christian Clavo at the Houghton Police Department at 973-790-4444 or tips@houghtonpd.org. Full disclosure, Felix's mother is not in the best of health, and she's pleading for someone to come forward with any pertinent information. There's also Felix's son and daughter, 6 other siblings, and countless of other family members throughout the country and in Puerto Rico who are hurting. We plead with the public to come forward if you know what happened to Felix De Jesus, Felix Joel De Jesus on February 2nd, 2022. Another and first of these holidays that we have to go through without a loved one.
Thank you. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Mr. Bilal Hakim.
I'll hold your, yeah.
First of all, I want to just say I seek refuge and protection of the Almighty Allah from the devilishment that takes place in this here building. The wickedness. Stand with this here family, 1,000%. Because as I said before, any one of you here, from the chief financial officer, business administrator, corporate counsel, counsel at large, counsel people, if this was your family, clerk's office, administrative secretary, you would want somebody to raise their voice. And it's a damn shame that all these people that are in the city that have a platform, a social platform, they acting like Pee Wee Herman all the time. You can say, there are things that you can do and say that won't compromise anything. But there's reason why. The very forces that we're trying to disrupt in this city, as the young lady mentioned, some of them are in the hip pocket of those forces. That's why they can't speak. Yeah, they can't speak. They have colluded with the forces of evil. This item here, number 5, I didn't know anything about this here being on here. We would like to know about this here. We're deeply concerned about what's happening with the parks. I want all of you to understand that. I seen the councilwoman, Ruby Cotton, I didn't know this was on here. I just happened to come down. I was coming down to something else. But I'm asking you council people at large, because you cover the whole city. We would appreciate anytime anything is on the agenda regarding money being distributed or allocated for park investment, contact us. We're important. It's very important to us. I got a text today from the same guy, Moody, about a meeting, and as I began to ask him questions, he's still very arrogant. Very arrogant. I can't read my text. This guy, I guess he's supposed to be a reverend over at Tier. But I gave him peace of mind. And I let him know that I'm not one of his subordinates, that he can tell me to hush or sit down. Right. Or that he can delete me from a conversation. That he sent to me. Like I told him, I'm saying it again here, the mayor, Andre Sayer, is the one that created this whole problem with the park. Because he overlooked people during the COVID time. And I'm saying to you, many of you that sit right here, you knew about some of the things that this man was talking about. And you shouldn't go along with it. You shouldn't go along with it. That man is a two-faced person. He's a vulnerable. Anti-vulnerable. He's a two-faced person. You shouldn't go along with it, because if you go along with it, you are have colluded with it as well. You have colluded with it as well. We are very concerned about what's happening in the parks. I asked the mayor, I said, why would you want to keep having a meeting over there where you're at? An area that has been, it's a polarized spot. It was politicized by the city mayor, this shaitan demon. So they should move the meeting, and then I want to know, has a bid went out? Is there a bid out? But there's such an urgency, oh, come to the meeting on Thursday, and they set the meeting at 5 o'clock. Do any of you know about this here? Any council person, do you know? I can't hear you. The cemetery, I just been there, burying my beloved one, I gotta go back. Any other council person know? No, councilwoman, I'm asking them. No one else knows?
Please wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna zip it up. No, anyone knows? I just wanna know. About this here meeting? Yeah, you need to come and see how this here man talks. He talks to people like they're supporting him. To him. He has no respect. And I had to remind him of this here. And I'm back the way, Council President. I had to remind this here man that I'm dealing with 3 deaths in my family, back to back, preparing to bury 2 of my cousins. One I was talking to on the phone as we buried his sister, my cousin. I was scheduled to go see him on Saturday, and he died Friday. Then his sister, his niece, passed away on the same day. Then with an illness, and where I almost lost my life. Been under medical supervision, and he talking like this here. So please, anything dealing with these here parks, and as Ms. Taylor Farrell always told, follow the money. There's a lot of money coming in this here city. And last but not least, I'm so glad the case of David Gilmore is coming up, the beloved of God. That's what David means. These demons plotted against him, and everybody that was silent about it, you colluded with the forces too, because you can say something.
Thank you.
You can speak on people's character, because you want somebody to speak on your character. It's a damn shame.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, next speaker.
Next speaker, Mr. Sebastian Mejia.
Okay, perfect. We got some responses. Word.
Good evening. Before I commence, I would ask your undivided attention and respect as I speak. Any side conversations or any electronic devices, please put them down for the time being. I would like to firstly direct a question towards members of the administration. Simply, I would like to know, is there any cost associated with holding a press conference? Does it cost the city anything? I didn't think so. I can clearly see that that podium has wheels on it. That same podium that gets pushed around the entire city. It doesn't cost us anything but time. So we could have press conferences, we could push this podium around the whole city about everything going on, all the money getting thrown around. But correct me if I'm wrong.
It's a political neophyte.
Correct me if I'm wrong, members of the administration or council, feel free to speak up. The administration has held 0 press conferences in regards to the missing person of Felix de Jesus. It costs them nothing but time. But we have time to go around this whole city and parade ourselves like if we actually doing something.
Animated cartoon, Bugs Bunny.
Are we still on our phones?
It's true.
I don't know. And we could take it around, we could translate, we could do whatever. We could easily push that podium 30 feet into the middle of these chambers. We could have it in Spanish and English. But that's too much to ask for.
That's right.
It's embarrassing that this family should still be coming here, pleading for some attention.
They don't give a damn.
They clearly don't. They clearly only care about Hispanics when it's election season. When we gotta parade ourselves to make us look good and feel good, we hang up a picture of a Hispanic up there. Well, we need to put a picture of Felix de Jesus up there. But when these lawsuits come to a conclusion, you're gonna have a statue of Felix de Jesus in front of this building. Mark my words.
Yep, when they get to that point.
Despicable, honestly. Despicable. You think in a million years, I'm gonna stand next to a leader that cannot be a leader? That cannot represent his people? You think I'm gonna stand next to that? In a press conference anywhere? Never. I'd rather stand alone than stand next to somebody's face. You're never gonna see that from me.
What's going on?
When I come up here, know that I'm coming here diplomatically. Diplomatically. And in cases for the record, Sebastian Maney of 5th Ward. For the record. Right? Moving forward, I would like to say, I didn't think it was possible, but it happened. I'll wrap up in a few. Council President, I'll wrap up in a few. I didn't think it was possible, but the school board is actually making our city council look good. Why do you ask that? Why? Because, fortunately, whether I agree with you all on individual topics or not, fortunately and thankfully, you all are here.
In person.
In person. Being held to this court of public opinion. I cannot say the same for the school board.
That's right.
They've been hiding in their basement for 2 years. They had one meeting in person. I went to it. I'm like, okay, finally.
Please look it up.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to, Council President. I'm really trying to.
Your time is up. Please look it up.
Listen, I'm gonna keep going because according to my constitution, I still got my freedom of speech. I'm gonna wrap up.
You have 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes has passed, sir.
Yeah.
Respectfully, I will conclude now.
Okay, please.
I will conclude now.
Okay, thank you.
Like I said, I applaud you all because it's not an easy task to be up here every week and hear what the community has to say. The school board needs to take notes.
Thank you. Thank you, appreciate it. Next speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker, Mr. Elvis Duran.
Mr. Durham.